Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Aaron Saray here to start our Friday edition of FSU weather tonight. Tonight's going to be a really great show, but unfortunately we are under cloudy skies right now with rain. We are at 57 degrees right now here at FSU with a very light winds out of the northwest right now, so not a really great day to be out, or right now time to be out there. Current local temperatures across the area actually vary quite a bit because we do have that cold front moving through the Big Bend region of Florida right now. 49 up in Donaldsville, 59 in Tallahassee, and down in the 60s the further south and east you go across the Big Bend. Our muggy meter right now across the state does show where that cold front is again, right up here, right where we're in our neck of the woods right here. Back in Pensacola, it is drier, but again, the temperature is lower. And same thing again for Miami, except it is warmer over there. Tonight in Tallahassee, we will be at 39 degrees with rain. So not really great night to be out there. But tonight's headlines: winter storm brings cold temperatures to the northeast. Cold front brings rain today and cold temperatures, and sun returns next week. All that and more in FSU weather.
Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Darish. We have a great show for you tonight on FSU weather. Lots going on across the nation. That cold front that's bringing us rain right now is also bringing lots of rain, snow, and mixed precipitation ranging from northern Texas all the way up to the northeast, even into Canada. And they are getting a bunch of snow in the northeast. Sounds a little familiar as last week's show if you were watching that. Luckily, it's not quite as severe just yet, but that snow can definitely bring threats of poor road conditions and just cold in general. So be on the lookout for that if you have friends or family. Likewise, here in Tallahassee, for our local residents and in the state of Florida, that rain that we've experienced today is going to be bringing some cold temperatures. So pay attention. Make sure you guys follow along with us so you can know just how cold is cold. Is it going to be as cold as next weekend or last weekend? Not quite, thankfully, but we will be dipping into the 30s tonight. So make sure you guys are paying attention and know when to bring your jackets this week. I'm going to hand it over to Aaron with the local.
That's right, Rebecca. It's going to be a very cold night tonight. But recapping today's weather, we did hit a high of 70 degrees. It was actually closer to midnight last night because, again, we did have that cold front come through and help maintain our temperature down into the 60s much of the day. And again, that's where we get our low temperature right now of 61, which is actually occurring outside right now. Of course, this is warmer than average at 66, and then way above average for our low temperature. Again, those clouds are helping to keep the heat inside right now closer to the earth. So a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium does show those clouds right now across the entire sky, 57 degrees right now with rain, so not a pleasant time to be outside right now. So make sure you do grab your umbrella or your jacket, or both, since it is a little cool out there, depending on who you are, because it is not a pleasant day outside. But if you are taking a walk, make sure you do grab that umbrella. And again, this is why our radar does show a lot of rain are now coming in from the coast. So places like Panama City or towards Tallahassee is seeing a lot of rain are now on radar. Most of it is light to moderate rain, but again, you do want to keep caution as you are walking out and about. A little bit more scattered in nature as you head further off towards I-75. Places like Lake City up towards southeast Georgia are seeing more scattered showers. But again, this is all moving off towards the north and the east. Our current local temperatures right now do actually range quite a bit, at least for this time of the day. 49 degrees in Donaldsville, down to 56 in Sumatra, and down along the Forgotten Coast in Apalachicola, 58 degrees. Up into Monticello, we're in the 60s, and the further south and east you go, the further, the higher the temperature is in the 60s across the Big Bend. Our wind speeds right now are all actually out of the northwest, so that's how you actually see that we actually have gone through that cold front. And of course, the winds are starting to pick up a little bit out of the northwest as we are advecting some of that cooler air in. Our dew points, again, are also pretty similar to our temperatures in that it is changing as you go across the area. So we are 46, and again, it's muggier the further south and east you go. Our future radar does show that rain exiting out of the area as we get into tomorrow, into tonight, and clearing out as we get into tomorrow morning. So hopefully things will improve there. The week ahead does show the temperatures beginning to fall over the weekend, but we do begin a warm-up as we get into the next part of the week.
Thank you, Aaron. Unfortunately, for the rest of the country, we don't have as sunny conditions right now. We have that cold front that is giving us rain. It is also giving snow and mixed precipitation up the coast. You can see just how many states and how many people that is impacting right now. Again, looking at that without the fronts aligned, you can see the cloud cover and the precipitation that is going through. So we are not the only ones getting rain. We are not alone in these cold temperatures. Thankfully, though, we're not getting the snow or mixed precipitation seen in the northeast. Closer to home, things are fairly wet still, and they're going to remain that way for overnight and some spotty showers into Saturday. You can see there's still a trail of precipitation that's making its way through the Gulf and into our region, bringing us some showers and potentially rumbles of thunders overnight and into Saturday. That's going to continue to push its way through across the area. So again, not just Tallahassee is going to be getting that rain, much of northern Florida and into Georgia and the Carolinas as that front pushes across to the states and up the coast. Further north, we're looking at mixed precipitation and snow. Me personally, mixed precipitation is my least favorite form of precipitation. It definitely creates the most hazardous conditions in my opinion. So you'll see as it moves a little bit more inland, that rain that is off in the ocean is turning into snow or mixed precipitation. So if you happen to be in those areas, be on the lookout. It's definitely going to be cold rain turning into sleet or freezing rain, which can create some very hazardous conditions, especially overnight. Looking at the big picture, things have cooled off quite a bit. You'll see 7 degrees in Minneapolis. That looks to be the coldest. I am so thankful we are not there. Sitting at 59 in Tallahassee and a warm 76 in Miami. For our lows compared to average, it is definitely cooler than average in most of the region. And it's okay for me right now. We're not getting into those muggy temperatures, nothing crazy. However, there are some places where it's significantly cooler than average in the northeast and other places. Likewise, in contrast, there are some places that are a little bit warmer than average, experiencing warmer than average temperatures, and you'll notice those are similar places that aren't getting impacted by our cooler temperatures that we are getting with that front. For our dew points, you can see the front make its way across. It's a little bit moister as the front hasn't gone through yet, so we're sitting at 56, a little bit moist, and it's going to drop as that cold front makes its way through, drying us out a little bit. Thankfully, we're not parched and super dry as Minneapolis is at -4 degrees, or -4 for their dew point. Definitely very dry air. And this is a live depiction of that visually. You'll see the browns being an example of the dry air that's coming through, and it's pushing that moist air that we see in the whites associated with the front through the area. So brown is going to be following us, bringing us some moist air over the next few days. For our drought monitor, despite the fact that we have lots of rain across the country, there's a large portion of the United States that is in drought right now. You'll notice much of the western portion of the state is in drought, with some of it being extreme. So it's definitely good that they're getting some precipitation and got some precipitation earlier this week with this front associated. For our rainfall forecast, again, this goes through Sunday. We're not looking at too much rain for most of the region, but upwards of about 1.5 inches for the highest places, impacting some parts of eastern Florida and up the Georgia and Carolina coast. Those are where we're looking at the rainfall forecast for being about 1.5 inches. We're currently looking at our watches and warnings, and just so that you're aware, we have that watch and warning for snow and winter weather advisory. I am going to hand things over to Aaron, and he is going to give us a look at the southeast.
That's right, Becca, and really to recap, much of the conditions across the southeast is not really great, especially as you go towards Florida. But again, if you are in Blacksburg, Virginia, it's actually not too bad right now. We do have some upper-level clouds over there. We do have a few clouds also in the mid-levels, but it's actually providing a nice view over there in Blacksburg, Virginia, and cold. And if you are in Atlanta, Georgia, it is very cloudy and 39 degrees, so you need your jacket out there. And then down towards Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the upper 20s right now, below freezing. If you are playing Spot the Cold Front, it's a pretty easy game this evening with the cold front right over here across Tallahassee, and of course all the way up into the Carolinas and up into New England. This was the same cold front that actually did bring some snow and some sleet and wintry precipitation over places like Texas and Louisiana and even into Mississippi. But again, it is sagged off to the south and east now, so it's bringing those clouds and that rain over across much places in the Florida Panhandle, up in towards central Georgia and into the Piedmont of North Carolina. And again, zooming closer into Texas, you can see the showers over in the central Gulf Coast. But again, the cloud cover is actually extending all the way up into the coastal portions of Texas. So Houston, they had a pretty cold day yesterday. They had temperatures in the 30s much of the day today. And then, of course, the clouds have also helped to keep that cooler air in and not allow any warm air in. And if you are in the mid-Atlantic, we do have some showers right now moving through the Carolinas. And we actually do see a few flurries in the Smoky Mountains this evening. Our year rainfall forecast does show those blues and greens over Florida. So perhaps maybe a half an inch or an inch or so along places like Lake City up into the coastal sections of the Carolinas. The Storm Prediction Center storm outlook doesn't show anything at least organized in severe weather. Maybe some general thunderstorms across Appalachia Bay in the Big Bend of Florida all the way up to Raleigh this evening as the storms and showers do make their way there. Again, current temperatures across the area are cool, especially the further north and west you go. So we are sitting at 45 degrees in Tupelo, 50 degrees in Montgomery. Of course, we are in the low 50s now in Tallahassee with that cold front moving through. We are in the 60s across much of the state of Florida, especially central Florida, and then down even to 80 degrees right now at this current hour in Miami. Dew points, again, are ahead of the front, are in the greens, especially in South Florida in the 60s and close to 70 Miami, and then all the way up into Charleston and the coastal parts of the Carolinas. We're seeing temperatures, or it's dew points, I should say, they're relatively humid. But tomorrow's highs are going to be in the 50s and 60s, but again, in the 40s possibly in the northern part of the area. But now I'll hand things over to Rebecca.
Thank you, Aaron. We're going to take a closer look at Florida itself for all of our friends who are in Florida. You'll notice that Panama City is joining us in our dreary day. They have clouds looking out over the horizon. For the satellite and radar, you'll notice that the radar matches that dreary depiction of clouds and precipitation making its way across the region. For most of the Panhandle right now, it's going to make its way across northern Florida throughout the rest of the day and into the night. A closer look, you'll see that Tallahassee's got some pretty heavy concentrated rainfall right there, so that is what we're looking at right now, and there's quite a few bands behind that that's going to continue to persist through the night. If you have outdoor plans, you may want to reconsider and find a nice cozy place to watch some TV or watch a movie. Those might be better suggestions. For the rest of the peninsula, they are continuing to stay fairly dry at the moment, just some spotty showers over the area. Nothing too significant that's going to really cancel any plans or make for a dreary night out. Current temperatures have a wide range as we look down the peninsula. You'll see where that cold front really kicks off with 45 in Pensacola, not quite cooling us down significantly yet, but it's coming for us. 67 in Tallahassee, warming up as we go down the coast, but the warmest being 85 in Fort Myers. For our muggy meter, we may have a smile right now, but that is I feel it changing a little bit with the moisture. My hair definitely seems a little bit bigger. No worries though, it's going to dry up as we continue throughout the day, and that dry air pushes its way across. Down the peninsula, you'll notice it gets significantly muggier as we go down, so they're definitely experiencing some moisture conditions in contrast to last weekend where we were all fairly dry. For that future radar, the rest of the peninsula is going to experience some of that rain and cloud cover that we have been experiencing the past few days, or just today actually, and they're going to have some spotty showers continue through Sunday, and that's what we're looking at for our precipitation. Tonight in Florida, it's going to be cool for us in the Panhandle and in northern Florida. We're looking at 34 in Pensacola, 37 in Tallahassee, and warmer as we go a little bit further south down the peninsula, 67 in Miami, 66 in Key West. For the Florida forecast, Miami is going to be nice and warm, partly cloudy, 80 degrees on Saturday. Great day to go to the beach. For Tampa, a little bit cooler, 65, very mild conditions. Still nice outside conditions if you're going out on Sunday or Monday. And Orlando is going to be a little bit cooler, 65 tomorrow, rain on Sunday, and 72 on Monday. Jacksonville is going to have nice conditions as well, 54 degrees, nice and sunny, but a little bit cooler. So definitely a cooler weekend with some rain. So make sure you guys plan accordingly. I'm going to hand things over to Aaron. He's going to give us some more information at the desk.
Thanks, Becca. And really, the more information we do have tonight will have to do more with the colder air, especially in Texas. If you do remember, last February, we had record-breaking temperatures across much of the state of Texas, which much of the area was below freezing. And while this winter storm did actually bring some snow and some winter precipitation across much of the state, won't be as cold. You can see for Houston, the temperature almanac for today hit only a high of 34 degrees. That is well below normal of 66 degrees. So very cold temperatures. And again, those clouds are helping to prevent much in the way of temperature change with lows in the 20s across Texas. And if you don't remember, last year it was about 13 degrees in February, and actually in Houston. So it certainly wasn't as cold, but it was very cold. And our lows compared to average range anywhere between 20 to even close to 30 to 40 degrees below average, especially places like Dallas and Austin, where they really experienced temperatures well below normal. Of course, they did get some snow across the area. And really across Austin, I mean, another place, tonight they're hitting highs in the 20s, but Houston 3-day outlook does show 40s and 50s do return. So definitely a warm-up coming up pretty soon if you're heading out there. But now I'll turn things back over to Becca at the wall.
And we're going to take a closer look at some of our areas that are being impacted by winter weather. Luckily for us, we're just getting rain. You'll see that it remains rain for a lot of the East Coast. However, once it makes its way up to the Northeast, we're seeing mixed precipitation and snow as it moves inland. That rain is continuing to be rain in the ocean, but as it moves inland, we are seeing mixed precipitation. So that purple is going to be a winter weather advisory, with the pink being a winter weather warning. Definitely would not want to be there right now with all the cold temperatures and snowfall. Not my type of thing. For our snowfall forecast, you'll notice that matches with how much snow they've been getting. This is in addition, so you'll see 18 to 24 inches in parts of Vermont and New Hampshire. It lessens as you get towards the coast, with the lowest being less than 1 inch. That's a little bit more favorable. Hopefully it'll stay that way on my trip to New York next weekend. I'm hoping I don't have to bring any snow boots. For our snowfall forecast over the weekend, you'll notice not too much adding its way in. Probably going to stay fairly consistent as the rest of the snow continues through the night and tomorrow. Sunday, we're looking at our current snowfall totals across the area. You'll notice the highest still being in the Northeast, upwards of 2 feet of snow in some parts of our country, such as Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. For our future radar, that cold front's going to continue to push its way across the country, move off coast, and finally we'll get a chance in some clear skies for the Northeast. Current temperatures are fairly cool again. Burlington being at 11 degrees would not be where I would like to be. Albany is at 14, so definitely cold enough to see that winter precipitation and bring cold temps and cold at times. So definitely not where I want to be. We're looking at 26 in Boston. You'll notice all of these areas are snowy right now, except for some of them that are just out of reach, such as Buffalo, but still very cold. Where it's not snowing, you guys can rest assured that there is snow on the ground. Those temps are not quite warm enough to be melting that snow, nor are they going to be melting anytime soon. It's probably going to stay pretty cool over the next few days and into much of February or March before we see significant snow melt. Aaron's going to help us out, bring us back down to Florida, and give us a look at the sports forecast with a little bit more high energy than all the snow.
That's right. We won't see quite enough or quite any snow here in Tallahassee, but we'll see a good amount of rain tonight, especially across the Emerald Coast, all the way up to the Forgotten Coast and much of Appalachia Bay. Seeing a lot of those showers coming off the Gulf right now, moving towards the Northeast. Of course, this is actually behind the cold front, because the cold front's probably further down over towards near I-75 currently. But if you're headed to the men's basketball on Saturday at FSU against Wake Forest and rooting on for the Noles, at noon it'll be in the upper 40s. We won't warm up into the 50s until about 2 p.m. tomorrow. So it'll be make sure you bring a jacket, because it'll be pretty cold. But do remember, it is indoors, so at least it helps there. And if you are going swimming and diving on Saturday, FSU versus Auburn at 3 p.m., it will be in the mid-40s across the area. So again, if you are out there, make sure to bring your jacket because it will definitely be cold if you're watching the swimmers out there. And for our men's tennis on Saturday at Lake Nona, Florida, so a little bit further south than we are here, we'll be falling into the mid-50s, starting at 59 degrees. Of course, we'll be versing UF, so definitely make sure to root on the Knolls there as we hopefully beat the Gators there. We'll go down into the mid-50s, 57 degrees by 7 p.m. And for our track and field Sunday, if you're heading up to New York, or if you are there in New York right now, it'll be at 1 o'clock, it'll be in the 30s and 20s, so below freezing. So there, you definitely want to bundle up there because it'll be frigid cold. So do keep that in mind if you're heading out the door there. And for our women's basketball on Sunday, 50s between 2 and 4 o'clock. And for women's tennis, again, at Lake Nona, will be in the 50s, down into the low 50s as we get by the end of the event. But future radar does show those showers moving out of the area and those clouds beginning to move out and clearing out as we get into Saturday. So hopefully warms up. How about that, Becca?
I am looking forward to it warming up. I am currently not a fan, nor have I ever been a fan of winter weather. That might come as a surprise being from Michigan, but that's why I'm here in Florida hoping for warmer weather, which I got today, a high of 70. Unfortunately, we were a little far off that low of 83 degrees, and luckily, off that high of 83 degrees, luckily nowhere near that low of 20 degrees. Wouldn't want to see that here. A live look at Doak, again, still cloudy, rain continuing through the night, 57 degrees currently. Current radar, that rain is pushing its way across us right now. You'll see there's some potential for some rumbles of thunder in there. Nothing too severe or to be worried about, but definitely some heavier rainfall and rumbles of thunder possible as we move into the evening and throughout the night. Current local temperatures are fairly mild right now, but those are going to be dropping as that front moves through. So we're looking at 49 in Donaldsonville, and that ranges all the way to about 62 in St. Mark's. So a wider range, but it is going to drop and become closer together as that front moves through, and we're going to get some cooler temps overnight. Nothing quite like we saw last weekend, but definitely cooler than what we saw this week. For that muggy meter, the dry air is slowly pushing its way through. We're going to be getting dry air, however, for much of the peninsula. They are still experiencing some significantly muggier air, making it a little bit more humid. Tonight's forecast, that's where we're going to start to drop into those cooler temps as that cold front and rain persists through. We're looking at 42 in Tallahassee, 45 in St. Mark's. If you're in the northern portion of our viewing area, you'll see 40 in Bainbridge and 41 in Thomasville. The beach forecast, I have to advise you not to go to the beach unless you like being cold and it being a little bit windy and cold water. It's going to be 53 degrees, and the water is actually going to be warmer than the air at 58, and let me tell you, that is not warm water at all. Tonight in Tally, we're looking at 39 degrees. Again, that's that cold air associated with the cold front with rain persisting throughout the night. Definitely a great night to stay in. Go to bed early and sleep great while that rain hits the roof. Our future radar, that cold front's going to be pushing its way across. Spotty showers continue throughout Saturday. That's what we're going to be looking at before it clears up on Sunday. So we're looking at clear skies after this cold front pushes through, slowly making its way up into the upper 60s by the end of the week.
I'm certainly excited for that that warm up, I should say. But right now, we do have those showers persisting across the area from Panama City over to Tallahassee, and some scattered showers over towards Lake City, up towards Valdosta, and then over towards Waycross in southeast Georgia. But if you are headed out to College Town tonight, maybe not the best night to go out. 40 degrees with rain, so a really cold rain tonight. So not the best night to go out. Maybe wait until next weekend. But winds will be out of the northwest at 10, and those actually probably might be a little bit higher because the winds will begin to pick up out of the northwest with that cold front passage. Don't even think about taking out your telescope tonight, as we do have pretty terrible conditions with clouds, and again with those viewing conditions, the poor viewing conditions right now. Might maybe wait until tomorrow when the clouds do move out of the way. It'll be a much nicer night tomorrow. But at the airport, 57 degrees currently with showers. No delays are expected right now, as we don't have any organized severe weather. It's mostly just spotty showers in nature. But across the country, it's pretty much mixed according to our graph here. You can see Denver, it's actually sunnier at 35. And then if you are headed to JFK up in New York, it is 31 and raining and sleet probably over there. But if you're heading out with your date tonight, or Saturday, I should say, 40 degrees. So I don't know about rain. I'll probably say closer to clear conditions tomorrow. But you certainly will need that jacket still. So make sure you do dress accordingly. And for your men's basketball on Saturday, we will be in the 40s and low 50s as we warm up in the afternoon to about 50 degrees or so by 2 p.m. Our dog walk forecast does show those 40s persisting into the afternoon tomorrow. But again, it should be, if you keep the walk for not too long, then it should be fairly comfortable. And our weekend planner does show 50s and 60s warming up as we turn back to Monday.
We're going to take one last look at the weather before we hand it back over to the desk. Take one more look at this cold front. Pretty impressive as how many states it ranges. It impacted the Texas area all the way up into Canada. That's a pretty significant line of precipitation impacting so many people with winter precipitation and rain. Again, these watches and warnings, we have a winter weather advisory in the purple and a winter weather warning in the blue for most of the northeast portion of our country. Lows compared to average, we are cooler than average, unfortunately. However, that is not the case for the whole country. Further in the Midwest, in the northern portion of the Midwest, they are warmer than average, and no surprise, over on the Pacific coast, a few portions of California are also warmer than average. For our current local temperatures, again, it's not a crazy huge range, and it's going to converge closer together as we dip into those cooler temps tonight. We're looking at 48 in Donaldsonville, 57 for us currently in Tallahassee, 59 in St. Mark's on the coast. Tonight's forecast is going to be chilly. You'll notice those temperatures do converge to about a 5-degree range. 45 in St. Mark's, cooling off to 40 in the northern portion of our viewing area in Bainbridge. For the future forecast, it's going to be pushing its way across, continuing these spotty showers throughout the night and into the day on Saturday until it clears up later in the day on Saturday. Aaron's going to finish us out tonight with a closing statement.
That's right, Becca. As we do wind down this Friday edition of FSU Weather, we talked about a good amount this evening, mostly to do with the winter weather conditions, especially from Texas all the way up to the Canadian border. So almost all about 2,000 miles or so of places impacted by winter weather. But of course, here in Tallahassee, we won't see any winter weather, but we will see the cool down this weekend after we do pass with the rain showers right now and then into tomorrow morning as we do begin to clear out. So do keep that jacket and umbrella handy, at least for tonight, and then tomorrow, maybe just the jacket, as we will see temperatures only in the 50s tomorrow. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather. And make sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather. And if you're already watching us already, watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU Weather. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. And again, with the conditions expected this weekend, make sure to have a really great weekend with the jacket. Make sure to have that on hand. But as for that, I'm Aaron Saray with FSU Weather. Have a great night.